Smoke rising on the horizon. Was it just a fire or a secret message traveling for miles? Today, we'll uncover how Native Americans turned smoke into their own language. For thousands of years, long before the invention of phones or radios, people relied on creativity and the natural world to share messages across great distances. For Native American tribes, one of the most fascinating tools was the smoke signal. It wasn't just a way to say, "I'm here." It was a carefully designed communication system that could send warnings, share news, or guide travelers through the wilderness. But how exactly did it work? Who used it? And why did smoke signals remain such an important part of Native American life for centuries? Let's take a journey into history and find out. Imagine life hundreds of years ago on the wide plains or deep forests of North America. Tribes often lived far apart, with miles of land separating them. Traveling these distances could take days, sometimes weeks. But danger, opportunity, or important news couldn't always wait. That's where the smoke signal came in. It allowed tribes to communicate instantly, without leaving their camps. A rising column of smoke could warn of invaders, announce a successful hunt, or call for help. Unlike shouting, which fades with distance, or drumming, which might be blocked by hills, smoke could climb high into the sky and be seen from many miles away. Smoke signals weren't random puffs of smoke. They were carefully planned. Different tribes had their own systems, but most shared a few basic rules. Single puff, often used as a sign of attention. Look here. 2 puffs, a message of peace or a signal that all is well. 3 puffs, a warning of danger or a call for help. Of course, meanings varied by region. The key idea was that both sender and receiver knew the code. Without that shared understanding, the smoke was meaningless. To create the signals, tribes used a fire covered with a blanket or hide. By quickly uncovering and covering the fire, they could release controlled puffs of smoke into the sky. If you're enjoying this journey into Native American history, hit subscribe now so you don't miss the next story. The type of smoke mattered too. Dry grass or wood produced thin, fast-rising smoke, good for visibility. Green leaves or damp material created thicker, darker smoke that lingered longer. Some tribes even added herbs or special plants to change the color or density of the smoke. On bright, sunny days, a dark, heavy plume stood out best. On cloudy days, a lighter smoke worked better. Native Americans were experts at reading the sky and using nature to maximize their signals. Timing also mattered. Signals sent at dawn or dusk could be more visible than those sent at midday, when the sun made smoke harder to see. Not all tribes used smoke signals in the same way. On the Great Plains, with its wide open spaces, smoke could travel for miles and was a reliable method of communication. Tribes like the Lakota or Cheyenne used smoke signals to coordinate movements, warn of buffalo herds, or alert each other of threats. In mountainous areas, however, smoke signals were less effective. Valleys and peaks often blocked the line of sight. In those regions, drums, runners, or other forms of communication were more common. This shows how Native Americans adapted their methods depending on their environment. While smoke signals were practical, they also carried cultural meaning. They weren't just about danger or hunting. They were part of a larger system of connection between tribes. Some signals were used for ceremonial gatherings or to guide allies to a meeting place. Others could mark the passing of a leader or call communities together for a celebration. In this way, smoke signals became more than just messages. They symbolized unity, the idea that no matter the distance, people were still connected. When European settlers and later the U.S. Army entered native lands, they quickly noticed the use of smoke signals. Sometimes they misunderstood them as primitive, not realizing how complex the system actually was. Other times, they tried to intercept or copy the signals, hoping to gain an advantage in conflicts. But without knowing the specific code of each tribe, outsiders often failed. The signals remained powerful because they were deeply rooted in cultural knowledge, something that couldn't simply be stolen or copied. With the arrival of the telegraph and later modern communication, smoke signals became less necessary. By the late 1800s, they were used more for tradition than for survival. Still, they never disappeared entirely. Today, smoke signals are remembered as symbols of ingenuity. They represent how Native Americans lived in harmony with nature, turning fire, wind, and sky into tools of connection. They also serve as a reminder: communication doesn't always need technology. Sometimes the simplest tools, like smoke and fire, can be the most powerful. From single puffs rising into the air to complex code shared between tribes, smoke signals tell us about resilience, creativity, and the deep human need to connect across distance. Smoke signals weren't just about survival. They were about community, identity, and unity. Want more untold stories of Native American life? Subscribe now and join us as we bring history to life, one story at a time.